match in the WDF, Denmark Open winner, and that's what secured his qualification to this tournament. And there is another caveat to this game. There have been 2 meetings between Bialecki and Baetens. Bialecki has won both of them, one of them being en route to that Denmark Open title. There's been a bit of a switch around in the comms box once again. I'm delighted to welcome back Andrew Sinclair inside the WDF podcaster. This should be arguably the game of the tournament so far, if we look at the profiles of the players and what they've achieved in their careers thus far.
Absolutely. I mean, Sebastian took to the stage fantastically well on Saturday afternoon. A lot of players struggled with how cold it was outside, the adjustment, and, you know, the nerves of the opening day of the World Championships. But Sebastian looked like a consummate pro up there, dispatched Scott Marsh very easily. And, yeah, I mean, all eyes are on Andy. He's been absolutely phenomenal this year, unstoppable at times. You know, the way the WDF Tour works, tour weekends, one tournament Saturday, one tournament Sunday. It's rare that you see players other than Bo Greaves do title doubles, but Andy's done a number of them this year. 83. Denmark, Croatia, his native Belgium. He's just reached a level of performance and consistency that we've never seen from him before, and most people haven't been able to live with. But he's got to deliver tonight against a very tough opponent.
Well, I make it. He's unbeaten in his last 15 recorded games, not since Raymond Smith beat him in the World Cup. Has he been on the right-hand column, so to speak. And he's looking to win this first leg in 15 darts. It's not going to go, but it's already a big ask for Bialecki.
Sebastian, you require 164.
But he could have a big response.
139.
Wires the bullseye for a fabulous 164. Would have been the biggest checkout of the tournament. Bit of early faffing.
Sebastian, you require 25.
Yeah, you would have expected him to take that, but now Sebastian, after wiring that ball before, will have 2 8s. Needs just the one.
In the first leg, Sebastian Bialecki.
Bit of pressure early on from the beast for the East. Not quite sure why it's from the East. Belgium's still in Western Europe, but
I think he's probably from Eastern Belgium, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, could be, but he's certainly been a bit of a beast on the board this year with the scores, the averages. I think it was when he won the Denmark Open earlier this year, Andy himself. His 7 matches during the day, I think his running average for the tournament was something like 97.8, which, you know, you think about that over the course of 7 matches, it's similar to what you'd see on the Pro Tour. If someone wins a Pro Tour with a running average of 97.8, you're thinking, well, they've had a really good day. And that's really what, you know, the big Belgian's been doing all year.
135.
And, you know, we're expecting more of the same here. That's why he's the bookie's favourite. But he's in a brutal section of the draw. I mean, we saw Gary Stone earlier 60. On. Slow start from him. Some great finishing from Ricky Nauman. But, I mean, Gary played very well earlier. And, you know, whoever wins this, it's going to be another tough game at the top of the draw.
Absolutely. I was about to make the point that if he does prevail here, he faces Gary Stone, who, you mentioned, started slowly against Ricky Nauman, but particularly after the break, he averaged nearly a ton in the last set, so he'd have to take him out. Then would come what you'd call a supposedly easier tie against either Johnny Tata or Jim Widmeyer, but the real pressure would be on Baetens. And then if he does get to the semi-final, who could he have in his way? Wesley Pleisier, perhaps? James Hurrell, James Richardson, who's playing very well in this tournament. It's going to be a hard route. You'd say that the top half of the draw is a bit more stacked than the bottom half.
140. Sebastian,
yeah, certainly true. We've obviously got the 2 big Americans in the bottom half of the draw. Gates, Danny Lauby, yet to see. And, of course, the young Dutchman so impressive yesterday. I won't call him Battenberg. Jarno Bottenberg. Very impressive.
The cake, as we'll call it.
I did actually treat myself to some Battenberg earlier. It was very nice.
Will Andy treat himself to 1-2-1? And he does get the bullseye.
Andy Baetens.
Only needs one go at it.
Third leg, Andy to throw first.
And immediately breaks the throwback.
You mentioned a little earlier his last recorded loss being that game with Raymond Smith at the World Cup. I actually was there for that game, watched it, and a really dramatic encounter, actually. Raymond was 3-1 up, had a big finish. I think it was 1-1-2 or 1-1-6, and he actually bust it. Raymond took out the wrong number. He miscounted in his own head, took out the wrong number. Andy then won that leg, made it 3-all, and Andy missed a clutch of match darts to actually nick it 4-3. And then Raymond won in the deciding leg. Really high standard from the pair of them. You know, high 80s, low 90s averages, but a dramatic game. And yeah, I know Andy was frustrated with how he'd played in that World Cup. You know, not being able to pick up any medals with Belgium. Obviously, eyes were on him then, but yeah, responded with 2 titles in Belgium in October. Final wins over young Brandon Weaning from Australia and Christian de Boer, Dutch international, and then yeah, won the Czech Open for the 4th time with a fairly convincing final win over Andreas Harrison of Sweden.
Yeah, you mentioned Raymond Smith. He was due to be here, but had to pull out due to ill health, and I think we all wish him the very best because he's very, very good value on the dartboard.
60.
Would have been a real contender, I feel.
Sebastian, you require 167.
Another potential big bull combo outshot. Andy shook his head. Bialecki can't press the button, but he's really threatening those. But Andy's threatening 145.
105. Sebastian, you require 35. Game shot and a 3rd leg.
Has the real feel of a big, big game, this.
4th leg, Sebastian.
And as such, being played in a quality fashion. Both players averaging 91.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, it was one of those you thought this could go all 5 sets and be 5 sets of really good quality darts. Already seen one game this evening go all the way. Barry Copeland, the daddy from Northern Ireland, World Masters runner-up last year, but out after coming up a little bit short in the end to that man from New Zealand who keeps finding ways to win, Johnny Tartar. Very impressive stuff from him so far. Although I think we can probably help him a little bit with the nickname. I think JT leaves a little bit to be desired.
Yeah.
137.
You got any in mind?
Not sure yet. I'm waiting for him to tell me a fun fact or something that we can work
120.
with. And of course we have TJ from Switzerland, Thomas Junghans. Maybe that's why I'm slightly more bothered by it. The both of them using their initials and they're the reverse of each other.
96. $118.
One thing you will see from Andy that occasionally does let him down, we know he's a phenomenally talented dart player, but some of the board management and counting decisions leave a lot to be desired. That was a strange one, which he's got away with because he hit the treble.
Yeah, and he actually took a moment in that last visit to check the big Dart Connect TV scoreboard on the screen. If you guys are wondering, you know, we don't have markers, written markers on the stage. There's a big Dart Connect TV screen that the players use. And he checked that to work out where he was, and yeah.
58.
Some curious counting, but it usually works for him because he usually finds the trebles and doubles that he wants.
Andy Baetens.
Just like then. 4 breaks from 4.
It's Andy to throw first. Game on.
I think people who've been watching darts at the Lakeside for a number of years seen Andy here before. I think the biggest change in his game since... 180 there from the Belgian. I think the biggest change people will notice since he first played here is that he has slowed down a little bit. You know, when he first came, he was a very rapid player. He slowed down just a fraction, and that's really, I think, helped kick his game on this year, because before, his biggest issue was doubles. As often with rapid players, the doubles sometimes, you don't quite get the sighting right. They tended to be his weakness in the past, and he slowed down a fraction this year, and you saw that pay off in Croatia and then Denmark, and obviously the majestic year he's had on the WDF Tour, and of course got to last 16 of the Euro Tour in his native Belgium as well. So he has made that adjustment. Yeah, I mean, if he can improve the counting as well, how far could he really go?
Yeah, and it took a really good performance from the current man of the moment in the darting world, Luke Humphreys, to beat him in Belgium.
128.
Another treble would leave double 10.
108. Sebastian, you require 100.
Doesn't take it now. Bialecki has been threatening these already. But this time, has to be patient.
100.
But it's a super setup.
And you require 20.
And it applies maximum pressure to Baetens.
Game shot and the first
And he
set.
takes it on double 10.
Baetens. Second set, first set. It's Sebastian to throw first. Game on.
He's a two-time quarter-finalist on this stage as Andy Baetens lost out to Scott Waits in 2018. And then was beaten by last year's runner-up Thibaut Tricol. The 7-set classic.
Yeah, Andy was very, very impressive last year. A big performance to knock out Dave Parletti in his first game last year. And I have to actually say at the time, I thought he was a contender to go all the way. And then, yeah, ran into an inspired week from Thibaut, really. He was phenomenal all week and actually led 2-0 in that final against Neil Duff. And just, you know, in the end, Neil's battling spirit I spoke to you about the other day. No one's going to believe more than Neil Duff this week. And, yeah, Neil Duff last year just found what he needed to win and etch his name in that list of greats who've won on that stage.
85.
If you're wondering when Duffman's going to be in action, he'll be on stage around about this time tomorrow evening against Moreno Blom, another speed merchant.
140.
Yes, very quick, he's young Moreno. Saw him last night, enjoying his win over Gabor Takec. A little bit of dancing from the young Dutchman last night.
41.
No dancing from me. I didn't see you on the dance floor either, Mr. McCarthy.
No, I'm more of a lean at the bar, man.
59.
Yeah, someone brought a little boombox into the bar / players room in the hotel. It was a mixed bag of tunes, I've got to say.
I think it was actually James Hurrell who will be in action in the final game of tonight's session against the very physically imposing Dennis Nilsson from Sweden, who seemed in very jolly spirits in the practice room earlier.
Could be a good couple of days for that particular household because James Hurrell's partner, Suzanne Smith, managed to get herself over the line against Victoria Monaghan. Treble 19. Well, even if you'd have hit that, I don't know with the way that the dart laid in the board how much of that bullseye you could see.
Andy, you require 96.
No, but it's a lovely setup shot. If he gets a chance, Andy, still can be done. Not now.
56.
Three at double 14 for Sebastian to take the opening leg of this second set.
Game shot.
Holds his throw.
Sebastian Bialecki. Second leg, Andy to throw first. $100.
There are some similarities in demeanour between Andy and the woman we saw win very impressively in the last game, Bo Greaves. They're both incredibly relaxed
95.
players and people. Seen Andy arrive a couple of days ago and he's just sort of taking it all in his stride, mooching around, you know, having a throw, confident in his abilities, and
85.
you know, obviously there's a little bit of aggression on the dartboard, more so than you perhaps get with Bo, but generally he's a fairly chilled out chap.
Yeah, I made the point to Nick in comms about Bo Greaves, about how relaxed she is. It's almost as if, oh, do you fancy going and playing a World Championship game today? Her response would be, yeah, all right. Rather than her being really pumped up for it. And I'm sure she is pumped up, but it's just the demeanour she gives. It's one of total relaxation. That must almost be quite intimidating for other players watching her.
Exactly. Yeah, all right. Opens up with an 84 finish, averages just shy of 89, and just makes it look so effortless and easy, you know. Makes you think, you know, dance is a simple game. I could be good at this as well. And then you have a practice and you think, well, maybe there is a bit more to it.
Yeah. Within about 30 seconds, you can make your mind up and say, nope, it's not happening. Is 95 happening? Well, he went the cautious route. Treble 18 would have left double 16. A little bit surprised.
87.
Showing a lot of respect to Bialecki, though.
112.
Well, I think it's because Andy, you know, of course, every player who's here wants to win this World Championship, but I think, you know, from the start of the year, Andy set his stall out that, you know, this is going to be the goal for me.
In shot in the second leg, Andy Baetens.
He didn't go to Q School back in January because he knew he was qualified for these World Championships. He won the Czech Open in November, and he basically said, you know what, this year I'm going to be focused on being the best player in this system, being world number one, and getting to that Lakeside and going beyond that quarter-final stage I've been to twice before. And he's shown that. No one's won more titles this year than he has.
180.
And I think a lot of people, as he fires in his third 180 of the match, I think a lot of people expected Andy to go to the PDC's Western Europe qualifying a couple of weeks ago. A few of the Dutch players did. Denny Oldekouter, who we saw yesterday, Jelle Klaassen, but Andy went, no. The World Championship is my one and only focus. And I think, you know, you're seeing that in his performance, a very strong start, but also he knows he's got to take out these finishes and he's got to go for them because Sebastian's getting shots at these combination finishes and he's a very, very capable young man and he's going to punish him if he doesn't take those chances.
Should look at the ball.
105.
It does. And I've got to say from previous times watching Andy Baetens that the board management does seem to have got a little bit better, a bit more aware of his surroundings.
61.
Really unfortunate for Bialecki, leaves him on a bogey number.
170. $134.
And that unfortunate bounce out looks like it's going to be punished.
105. And you require 36. In shot and a third.
He only needs 2 bites.
Baetens.
Now he's just one leg away from a 2-set lead going into the break.
It's Andy to throw first. Game on. $140.
Well, Sebastian's done not much wrong really, but the way Andy's going, we're going to see the biggest average of the tournament so far.
180. $140.
Things are getting interesting. Well, the 9-dart balloon has just been deflated.
Yeah, we saw Peter Machin get, well, didn't quite wire the double 12, but he got a shot at it for the 9 darts. It would have been a very special moment indeed. I know you and Nick were on tenterhooks in commentary at the time.
You know, I couldn't believe that it's still only Paul Lim that's done it here in the World Championship.
100.
What a club that would have been.
121.
Seen him take out 1-2-1 on the bull already, but this time the darts don't quite go where he wants them. I was going to say the bull might be brought in with 81, but it won't be now. And he's made a bit of a hash of that.
And you require 64.
So we got 1 dart at double, 1 at tops for the set.
Game shot.
And it's 1 at tops that he takes, and he lets everyone in. Andy Baetens is looking in imperious form as he seeks a very first Lakeside World Championship title to add to his massive trophy haul in the WDF system. Leads the young Pole Sebastian Bialecki 2-0, and he's currently averaging around 96, which would be a tournament best thus far. Now, before we get back into the guts of this match, if you were watching earlier the match between Barry Copeland and Johnny Tata, me and Nick Rolls were having a conversation about the Johnny Tata nickname, JT. We thought it was a little bit boring, a little bit unimaginative. Being unimaginative myself, I couldn't think of a more suitable one. Step forward, the three-time Lakeside champion Glenn Durrant, who sent me a message during the first two sets. Listen to this. Johnny Steak Tata. Genius. Love it, Glenn. That's why you've transitioned to commentary like a dream.
Yes, I had heard the sauce. Someone did suggest the sauce to me earlier in the week, and I thought, I don't know, it's not vibing with it at the moment, but you know, Johnny's a fairly quiet, reserved man, so I think we're going to have to warm him up a little bit to...
Yeah, the sauce sounds a bit too internet lingo for me. The cap fits in regards to Barton's nickname, though. Activating beast mode in the first two sets. And he's looking very good in pretty much all departments. He's only needed at most 2 darts to win any leg. Not the double, that is. Bialecki's just been denied opportunities on the outer ring. He was a little bit unfortunate in one of the legs in the last set where he was on 2-2-3, treble 20, single 1, and then I think it was 60 points on the floor. I don't think it was going to be a single 20, and that denied him the opportunity to get anything from that. Who knows what would have happened? It's counterfactual history. We can't dwell upon it.
140.
It's all about Baetens now. And what he is doing regularly is leaving himself on a finish after 9 darts. That's incredibly hard to live with.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's that power scoring of Andy that's always been his biggest strength. As I said, he's been able to convert it a lot more this year, and he's shown that in this match. He's been clinical, which really has limited Sebastian's opportunities, has restricted him to, you know, trying to get those big finishes, and if he doesn't take them, hoping he gets another go at whatever might be left, whether that's, you know, double 18 or 25, you know.
Andy requires 16.
And that's the standard Andy's at now, and that's the standard anyone's going to have to produce to beat him in this tournament.
Game shot in the first leg.
And he can afford to be a little bit looser on the darting doubles there. Double 4 rescues him, takes the lead in this third set. And for Sebastian Bialecki, it's a pretty mountainous task ahead of him.
80.
I mean, Andy's one of the big hopes of Belgian darts. Is a country very much on the rise in the darting world. You've got obviously big PDC stars like Dimitri Vandenberg and Kim Huybrechts, but we had a WDF #1 top seed last year in this tournament, Brian Roman. We've got a Belgian top seed favourite this time in Andy Baetens, and you know, a number of other talented Belgian players on this tour looking to play on the PDC tour as well. So it's a nation on the rise, and it's true of Poland as well. Yeah,
it's something we've spoken about quite a lot in commentary over the last few days, the amount of emerging darting nations, and these are two of the best. Poland a little bit more nascent, but they are to host a World Series event for the second time in a row. We've got the likes of Krzysztof Ratajski, who was a real high performer in this system before he switched to the PDC.
134.
It's a high performance so far in this leg from Sebastian Bialecki as well, down to 132 after 12. And he's going to have at least 6 darts at it with Andy back on 183.
40.
Even though Andy's not on a finish, all it's going to take is a big visit, and it makes 92 look a lot trickier.
140.
And how he managed to squeeze that third dart in without knocking the second one out. 17 leaves the bullseye. How much of it can he see?
Thought he might have moved slightly across the hockey then to get a better view, but didn't, and will he be punished? 3 for tops.
Game shot on the second leg. Andy Baetens.
Now the beast from the east throwing for a straight sets victory. I don't think that
Third leg, it's Andy.
Don't think that was on the bingo card for this one. You know, I sat here, oh, this one's going to go all the way. I think I've said that a lot, to be fair, in this commentary box. Just a sucker for the long games, me. But yeah, and a very professional and a very impressive performance so far from the Belgian.
Did you think Copeland Tata would go all the way?
Yes.
Well, you've got one right then.
109.
Bialecki gets 3 darts right. Looking to put up a late show of defiance, but it seems inevitable, really, that Baetens is going to go on and win. Get to the last 16 to set up a tantalising tie with Gary Stone. And the more I think of it, the more I think it is going to be a class game, because it combines 2 real power scorers in the WDF system.
And I think it's a tremendous confidence booster as well for whoever is to come through that game, because they're going to know, right, okay, you know, if it's Andy, right, well, I've beaten Sebastian Bialecki, someone people were talking about as a contender, he's a hugely promising young player. And if you know, and then he beats Gary, he's someone else people were looking at, someone who's full of confidence, playing well, hitting big finishes.
60.
And if you're Gary's point of view, backs up the confidence he came out with earlier. You know, I heard him say, I'm the favourite in the next round. Whether I'm playing Andy or Sebastian, I'm the favourite and I'm here to win this title. So if he beats him, it's all the confidence you need.
100.
Yeah, a few mind games, you could almost be tempted to say, rattling around the players' room.
140. Sebastian,
It's down to a finish, but that did follow 12 darts, where he failed to get a single treble.
$81. And you require 141. $55. Sebastian, you require 24.
Well, unless Sebastian mucks around here, Andy's not going to get matched darts, and there's no mucking around from the young Pole.
Fourth leg is Sebastian to throw first.
Break and throw as well. But I get the feeling that Bialecki's going to have to find probably a couple of legs
85.
in at least 5 visits in order to win this set and thus extend the game.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the throw here, so you think 15, that means Andy would have to go out in 12 or better. And if it gets to 2-2, yeah, do the nerves kick in? How hard can he push him? Certainly with 2 trebles already.
180.
Third maximum of the game from the Bolt.
The second in successive legs.
100.
Well, I believe he's 20 in a couple of days' time.
Yeah, Wednesday. Last few days of teenage kicks for Sebastian Bialecki.
123.
Player with a very, very bright future. Development Tour winner. Moda Super Series winner as well. He got through to Champions Week.
You require 113. $53. 60. Sebastian, you require 60. Game shot on the fourth.
Does get tops.
Sebastian Bialecki. Fifth leg, Andy to throw first. Game.
Is the pendulum just beginning to tilt in the favour of Bialecki? Well, maybe not now. Strong start to what could be a match-winning leg.
Yeah, the Pole has had the edge in the scoring the last couple of legs as he's pulled himself back to level pegging, but a 135 to start.
100.
Good find with the last one to keep himself within touching distance, but since he's probably going to need 2 trebles next time.
60. $100. 96.
It's just a tiny indication that sometimes Andy isn't the best with the numbers. When you're on 306, the percentage players to start on the 19s.
45.
But he's in a good position anyway. We are just being a little bit hypercritical.
But it's those fine margins.
174.
It's that magic number, 174.
I was going to say it's those fine margins that decide world title contenders, and so do 174 visits. To leave yourself on 36 after 12.
And you require 36.
3 at 18, double 18.
Game, shot.
Andy Baetens has made his presence known.